Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is Wednesday, July the 16th. We are looking at a very hot day outside, as we have every day this week and last week as well. We are under a heat advisory. We're going to look at a forecast briefly in just a little bit. Always remember our first alert weather team will be here at 2:30 to give you an in-depth look at your forecast, as well as taking a look at the tropics. We are watching the tropics, so you want to be here to hear from them and find out exactly what is going on out there. So if you are tuning in on our website or through our mobile app, we appreciate you watching. And don't forget, you can also watch on your smart TV. You can download the WLBT app and you can watch this and all of our other newscasts live or on demand, as well as other content there. So don't forget about the app on your smart TV. Now, if you're watching on our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, hello, and thank you for watching there as well. Or if you're watching later, maybe not live, but you're picking it up later today, appreciate you tuning in then as well. Don't forget, you can always leave a comment, thought, question, suggestion, anything like that in the comment section on our social streams during what I call our interactive newscast here at WLBT. So before we get into the news today, we are going to take a look outside, and we're looking over Ridgeland courtesy of our Renaissance Sky Cam. And you can see there are some big clouds in the sky, puffy clouds, a lot of blue, a lot of sunshine, which equals a lot of heat, especially in July in Mississippi. So we are in, like I said, a heat advisory, and we are in triple digit heat indices. And so you want to be very mindful of that if you go outside, if you work outside. Spending any time outside, make sure you're staying hydrated and try and rest in a shaded or air conditioned place as much as you possibly can. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead, jump into the news now, and let you know what's going on around Jackson and the metro. So there was a carjacking that happened in South Jackson yesterday. A couple was carjacked. It was a terrifying ordeal for them. So police say three men armed them with what appeared to be assault rifles. This is the location of where the carjacking happened. So it happened around 1:30 yesterday. It was on Woodburn Street, just south of West McDowell Road. JPD says that officers are now trying to find the carjackers, who could be in the victim's black Nissan Altima sedan. So if you have any information on that, if you live in that area and you have the security footage or Ring doorbell cameras, check them out. Look at the footage from 1:30 yesterday and see if you see anything out of the norm or that looks suspicious. And if you do, pass that information along to Jackson Police Department. And the remains of a missing woman who is missing from Missouri have possibly been found in a wooded area here in Mississippi. So that's according to the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. Latadra Williams disappeared about 2 months ago. Multiple agencies have been conducting a search for her. This is her on your screen. So the sheriff's office says that Charles Sims, who had been in custody since July 11th, told authorities that they would never find her where they were searching and that he would take officials to her. So authorities did find the body of a woman in a shallow grave in the area that Charles Sims led them to. DNA testing will be done to positively identify the body and determine whether or not it is Williams. And we will certainly keep you updated both on air and online with this story as it progresses. Shakia Hampton here on social saying hello to everyone. Hello to you as well. I hope you're having a great day on this Wednesday. I hope you're staying cool, not getting out in the heat. Coming back to Rankin County, where the sheriff of Rankin County says an ongoing cooperative fentanyl investigation has led to the arrest of a metro area drug dealer. So Sheriff Brian Bailey says that William Daniel Rogers, who you can see here on the screen, was arrested after deputies, Madison police officers, and MBN agents seized more than 120 2 fentanyl pills after a traffic stop here in Rankin County, or over in Rankin County. They got a warrant to search his home in Castle Woods, where they say they found marijuana, more fentanyl, cocaine, meth, and other illegal drugs, along with 19 weapons and 4 unregistered homemade suppressors or silencers. He is now in Rankin County Jail on a $100,000 bond as he awaits his initial appearance before a judge. And yesterday, the prosecution rested in the Canton corruption trial that is being held here in federal court in Jackson. So neither Rudy Warnock nor Cleveland Anderson ended up taking the stand yesterday. They told the U.S. District Judge Christy Johnson they would not be testifying, and attorney John Collette said the defense would not be calling any other witnesses. Warnock is charged with conspiracy and wire fraud, and Anderson is facing 2 counts of conspiracy to commit bribery. The closing arguments began this morning, and we do have a reporter there in the courtroom, Anthony Warren, and he will be updating us later today on what the results are, what today's court trial brings us. And staying here in the city of Jackson, actually first, let's see, we got Robin Zine saying hello. Hello to you as well, Robin Zine. Betty White saying hello to everyone. Hello, Betty. I hope you're doing a great job. Great name, by the way. Great name. Everybody loves Betty White, or at least I do. But I love that name. Thank you guys so much for watching. But now we're here in Jackson, where Jackson City Council last night in their board meeting voted to amend an ordinance that will reduce the number of signatures needed to make several streets in Belhaven pedestrian only. So the Greater Belhaven Foundation requested the change after researching similar efforts in other mid-sized cities. So the council voted 6-0 to amend the ordinance. The foundation believes the results will be safer streets and better traffic flow. But still, it needs a minimum number of signatures from people who live in the neighborhood to get approved. The foundation's executive director and others met with the city's traffic calming committee and recommended that the city lower the threshold for approval from 76% to 60%.
And the reason I made that argument is because there's a precedent for it. Other mid-sized cities, that's the percentage that they use in their traffic calming ordinance. Additionally, we have a struggle, as the whole city does, with out-of-state property owners in our neighborhood that are extremely difficult to reach. What's left to do now is we're waiting to receive a petition from the city. And so once we have that petition, then we will know who we need signatures from on the impacted streets that are being proposed for closure. If we meet the threshold for petitions, then we hold a public hearing.
The executive director said once the foundation gets the community's input, they would then move on to the next phase, which that next phase includes coming up with a design and then moving to construction. Also, last night at the Jackson City Council meeting, Chief of Jackson Police Department Joseph Wade brought up potentially banning ski masks in public to the city council members last night. So Wade says that he has personally seen males riding on bikes with no shirts and wearing masks in the South Jackson. He says he also sees them on surveillance video with masks on inside of businesses. He's looking for some type of ordinance so that individuals are not just walking around with ski mask on. Could you imagine walking or riding around with a ski mask on in this heat? Goodness. Wade believes that the individuals are wearing the ski mask for multiple reasons, with the main reason being so they are not recognized by JPD's facial recognition technology. So we will keep you updated when we find out more information on whether or not that ordinance gets passed. And Angela with the Mike Magazine tuning in from the Mississippi Delta up in Greenville. Hey, Angela, I hope you're having a great day, friend, and thank you so much for watching. Well, and now we are going to North Mississippi, to Tunica, where a young girl who survived a triple shooting there is now back home with her family. So you can see here in this video, she returned home yesterday with a police escort. The Tunica County Sheriff's Department says that 6-year-old Malaysia Braxton was shot during what investigators are calling a domestic violence incident that happened last Friday. Her mother was killed during this incident. Multiple law enforcement agencies helped to get her home safely. Look at that Paw Patrol vehicle. Oh my goodness, that is precious. But multiple law enforcement agencies helped to get her home safely yesterday, saying that they are taking a unified stand against domestic violence. And meanwhile, up there in Tunica County, the prime suspect in that shooting has been found dead. So U.S. Marshals discovered the body Monday afternoon near the scene of the crime, and they believe that it is the body of 41-year-old Markel Braxton. You see him on the screen here. There is an autopsy that is planned to happen at the state crime lab to determine if it is in fact him, and also the cause of death, and we will keep you updated on that. Let's see, Mike says we were in North Park Mall yesterday. There was a young man walking around with a ski mask on. It was totally unnecessary. Yes, so we will definitely keep you updated on what the ordinance has with that ski mask. I just couldn't imagine walking around in a ski mask in this heat at all. Well, if you are in North Rankin County or even in Madison County and use Highway 43 to cross the Ross Barnett Reservoir, your travel time or your commute to work could increase by a lot starting July the 28th. So 3 on your side. This is where by the way, where the bridge is here on your screen. 3 on your sides. Holly Emery explains MDOT's latest project and how it could impact your commute.
Getting from Rankin County using the Highway 43 bridge across the reservoir into the Madison County side will be a headache for commuters as MDOT begins their bridge reconstruction project, taking roughly 2 months.
I'm having to fix a leak in it so it don't sink while I'm over at Brownsville.
B. Hudson is just one of the thousands of people who travel across the Highway 43 bridge every day to get to work. He works at Sunset Marina and RV Park.
Anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes, depending on the traffic on Yandle.
But now his commute is going to involve his truck and his old fishing boat come July 28th, when MDOT will close the bridge entirely to begin repairs.
Thought about parking it at Brown's Landing, drive my car to Brown's Landing, and then come across the water in the boat.
According to MDOT, they will be repairing parts of the bridge, specifically on the Madison side because of a void underneath the bridge near a fishing pier. That section will be removed and replaced before wheels can hit the road once again. Construction is expected to begin just days before school will open in the fall and end by October 1st.
I know they've been repairing the approach to that one bridge. I don't know what's underneath it, but I do know they keep continuing repairs on it.
2 to 3 months, they patch it, and then it sinks down again.
While Hudson will be using his boat to cross the reservoir, weather permitting, commuters like Wayne Beck will be sitting in traffic significantly longer than he's used to.
I've got coworkers that live here in this RV park and the other RV parks, and I've got coworkers traveling between Morton and Canton project. So it's going to impact a lot of us going to and from.
MDOT says while repairs were made 5 years ago to this same bridge, these new repairs are crucial to keeping travelers safe. In Rankin County, Holly Emery, 3 on your side.
Now, MDOT Executive Director Brad White did release a statement about the bridge closure, saying, in part, we understand that closing this bridge, even temporarily, creates a real hardship for families, businesses, and commuters who rely on it every day. But everyone's safety must come first. And I agree with that, but if you live in that area, especially if you live there at Sunset Marina or RV Park or even close to it, let's just say, for instance, that you worked at the Nissan plant. It would take you about 15 to 20 minutes to get to work. Now it could take upwards of 45. So it's going to be a very, very long commute for some people starting on the 28th, but the bridge does need to be repaired. So before we look at SEC Media Days and the SWAC Media Day, let's hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water, water for all the time.
And again, thank you to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus, making it possible for us to bring you this show and others every day. So let's look at our forecast, or rather our temperatures outside right now. Currently, we are sitting in the mid 90s here in Jackson. The coolest place around is, well, we got 3 places tied for it, but we're looking at 89, Macomb, Natchez, Midville, and Carthage. Now, while those temperatures are still hot, let's also keep in mind that we are under a heat advisory today, and we are in triple-digit heat indices. So while the temperature here in Jackson may be 94, the feels-like temperature is 105 degrees out there. That's why it is so important, if you are out, that you take care of yourself, you stay hydrated, try to take breaks and get in the air conditioner if possible. So you see, we don't have any rain in our viewing area around the metro, and even down farther south, Emmett and Pike counties, no rain right now. And if we look at our next 12 hours, you can see there is a small chance of rain around 5 o'clock, but that drops off into the overnight hours. Well, we're only dropping down into the 80s overnight, guys. It's still going to be hot all night. And if we look at our next 7 days, we're staying hot. It's going to be humid. It's going to be high heat indices. We do have a higher chance of rain on Friday and Saturday, but it is pretty much a copy and paste kind of forecast. Now, like I told you earlier, we are watching the tropics. There is an invest that has been formed in the Gulf of Mexico, and our first alert weather team will give you the details on that. So make sure you're here at 2:30 today and get those full details from them. So let's look at the SEC Media Days. Yesterday we talked to our reporter who is there in Atlanta, Nathan. He's there up in Atlanta, experiencing all of the excitement of the SEC Media Days and bringing that excitement to us here on WLBT. So today in the spotlight is the Mississippi State Bulldogs and Alabama Crimson Tide. They're in the spotlight today for the SEC Media Day. So Mississippi State's football representatives at the SEC Media Days will be quarterback Blake Shapen. Am I saying his last name right? I feel like I'm not. Safety Isaac Smith and wide receiver Brennan Thompson. Coach Jeff Lebby will be took the podium this morning around 10 o'clock. And of course, we're going to bring you that coverage all day, both online and on air. And make sure you're tuning into our newscast tonight to hear more from Nathan Lee about what happened today at SEC Media Days, especially with Mississippi State Bulldog. And another thing that is happening today in Birmingham is the SWAC Media Day. So all of those of you who are fans of Jackson State, Alcorn State, Mississippi Valley State will get to hear from your coaches and players about their expectations for the coming year. So you can follow our coverage of that as well. We have reporter Garrett Busby, who is there in Birmingham covering this SWAC Media Day. It began at 10 o'clock this morning, and so make sure you're tuning in later to hear more about what all is going on there in Birmingham. Lots of sports things happening. A lot of people gearing back up for football season. I know my husband is very excited for Alabama football to kick back off. Well, just football, period, because he will watch any football game, but especially Alabama football. So the U.S. Supreme Court has cleared the way for more major funding cuts to the Department of Education, and we're getting some reaction to that from our state's top leaders. So the department oversees billions of dollars that largely go to students in low-income communities. Now the layoffs of more than 1,000 workers paused by a lower court are able to proceed. Mississippi State Superintendent of Education, Dr. Lance Evans, says this is the latest move, creating more uncertainty around the future of federal funding for our schools.
If we are cut from a federal standpoint, we still have to provide those services to the students. So we have to find ways to be creative to cover that. Now, I do want to be optimistic and think that we're not going to get to that point, but the world is very different now than it was previously, so I am worried about it.
As of now, 24 states, not including the state of Mississippi, are suing the Trump administration for withholding $6 billion in Congress allocated funding. But we will keep you updated on the status of the Department of Education and how it will affect us here in Mississippi. And speaking of education, we all know school is going to be getting back underway very soon. Jackson Public Schools go back on the 28th. Rankin County schools go back to school on the 31st. It seems like it's coming sooner and sooner every year. And that means that it's also time for school supplies. So many children across our area are in desperate need of school supplies. And that's why Wlbt and Raising Cane's are partnering together to help prepare students for the upcoming school year. And we need your help as well. So you can stop by the Sam's Club in Madison through Friday to donate school supplies. And we will be out there from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening. You can also purchase school supplies to go towards this drive online. If you scan the QR code that is right here on your screen, it will take you to a list showing what is needed. You can purchase the items and then they will be shipped to us here at the station, and we can put them in as part of the school supply drive to help local kids get to school with everything that they need to have a successful school year for 2025-2026. Well, guys, that is it for WLBT Plus today. Our First Alert Weather Team, again, will be here at 2:30 to give you a look at the tropics and our local forecast. And I will be back tomorrow for your top 3 from WLBT, as well as this show right here at WLBT Plus. So make sure you are tuning in then. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you are staying safe if you are out in this heat. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.